All right, so let's talk about choosing a place to film. Now, most of our homes are not a film studio. We don't have, grids for lighting. They're not soundproof. Other people live there. The same applies to our offices. Probably very few of us have soundproof, completely private offices in this day and age. So let's talk about how to make the best out of what we have at our disposal. And there's basically three things you want to think about when you're choosing a place to film. Number one is how it looks. Number two is how it sounds. And number three is how much control you have over the environment. So I am filming in my dining room right now of my open plan home. So it does pretty good on the how it looks thing. It's a really long room. There's lots of space. It creates depth. It creates a nice sort of production value in that regard. However, as you'll see when I cut to the B-roll that I shot earlier while I'm talking about this, is I'm also right next to my kitchen. Here. So I have to deal with my fridge being on if the dishwasher happens to make some noise. And so there's that sort of stuff to deal with. And then the how much control you have is the one that we often forget about. So for me, I share a home with my wife and she's home today. So she, is trying to live her life and do stuff. So I have to be cognizant of that. I also have a dog who you might hear right now who's licking her paws obsessively 3 feet away from me, or she might hop up and bark. And if she does that, I'm probably gonna have to stop and restart and do this whole thing again. So the more control you can have over your environment, the better it obviously is going to be, and the sort of quieter it is, and the brighter it is. So those are the three things you want to look for. Now let's talk about choosing how a place looks. There's a few things that will affect the look and feel of your video. Number one is how big the space is. If you have a bigger space, that's a dirty little secret of a lot of professional film production is they film in these big spaces that create a great out of focus backdrop that gives lots of drama and adds a lot of production value. So if you've got lots of space, that's fantastic. The second thing that you want is a lot of ambient light. So if you have windows, again, I'm gonna switch to some B-roll here that I filmed earlier. My dining room has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows within about 15 feet of me. It's west facing and I'm filming around 11 in the morning. So it's nice, even ambient light. It's also a cloudy day here. And I'm augmenting that by basically I've turned on every single light in the house. I don't have any lights that are specifically film lights right now on me, but my dining room light is just right over my head and it's actually serving as a nice sort of key fill light to augment the light coming in from the windows. So there's that. If I were to film this at 5 o'clock, I would be bathed in tons of direct sunlight in this room, which wouldn't be good. So these are the sort of things you want to consider about that. The second thing is around lighting is obviously if you have higher ceilings, you can sort of put lights or have lights that aren't sort of directly on you, which helps a little bit for that. So space and brightness are really the two key ingredients. So like if you have a room that has a window and you can film right near that window and there's not sort of direct sunlight pouring in there, you're in a good place. I'm gonna film some later segments about how to light in my basement office, which is far from this photogenic, but I still managed to make it look okay. So we're gonna talk about that. So now going back to how it sounds, what do you wanna look for to choose a place for how it sounds? So obviously noise, it's sort of interruptive or ambient noise are the things that you want to avoid. So I'm breaking a rule by standing 6 feet from my refrigerator, which is going on and off as I record these videos, and you may or may not hear it after I do the editing, depending on how ambitious and diligent I am with that. But the other thing is my house is actually near a really busy intersection near a fire hall. So it's not infrequent for me to have to, stop because of sirens. So there's that. And so those are the things you want to think about. And again, in your home, you may not have as much control over that. And that's the last thing. Does your room have a door? If you have pets, can you keep them out of the room while you're filming? If you have children, can you keep them out of the room while you're filming? If you can't, then maybe you incorporate them into it, you know? I've definitely put videos out there that have my dog barking in the middle of them, and I just make it part of the story. So that's how you choose a location. So what I'm gonna get you to do is go around your house right now, figure out if the spot where you've been filming is fantastic, or if you want to try filming in a different place. And then we're gonna talk about how to set up your camera in that space for maximum benefit.